Hello, my name is Caitlin Metz. I'm the Yates County Victim Witness Coordinator. Today, we come together to recognize National Crime Victims' Rights Week. While we could not be together in person due to COVID and to practice social distancing, we have put this video together to recognize the important event of National Crime Victims' Rights Week. In 1981, President Ronald Reagan proclaimed the first National Crime Victims' Rights Week. 40 years later, we joined together to recognize April 18th through the 24th of 2021 as National Crime Victims' Rights Week. This year, we recognize that the theme of support victims, build trust, and engage communities is even more important. With all the changes to our criminal justice system, with discovery law changes, bail reform, and the closure of courts due to the pandemic causing cases to last longer, and there to be uncertainty as to what's happening and where the case is going, our victims' rights are even more important. To discuss some of the struggles and the resiliency of our victims and to recognize that is District Attorney Todd Casella.
My name is Todd Casella, and I am the Yates County District Attorney, and I'm speaking to you in support of Crime Victims Week. This has been probably the most difficult year for most of us, and it has most certainly been the most difficult year for victims of crimes, as the shutdown in the courts, the delay in prosecutions, and the uncertainty that comes with both of them have left victims very much in the dark, have left them without closure on their cases, without consistent communication from the court about orders of protection still being in effect, and just altogether not knowing where a case stands. And it's what makes the celebration of Crime Victims Week all the more important. All the more important that victims know that there is support for them. It's what makes the theme of this year's event so fitting: to support victims, to build trust, and to engage in communities. We can support victims by keeping those open lines of communication, making sure they know what's going on in a case, making sure they know when the next court appearance is going to be, making sure they feel heard. We can further do that supporting them by building trust with them. That trust is built through exactly those same things. We can further make them feel supported by engaging our communities with events like this, so the victims know that they don't stand alone, that there's a community behind them, not just a prosecutor or a crime victim advocate. There's a much larger network of support out there for them, listening to them, caring about what happened to them, and being there in support in any way that they can. I hope that although this event is remote as opposed to in person, that it can still be as impactful as it would be otherwise, because it's very important that our victims know that we're here for them, that we support them, that we want to continue to build trust with them, and to keep our communities engaged in this process. Thank you.
Hello everyone, I'm Sheriff Ron Spike, urging that you join me and the members of the Yates County Sheriff's Office recognizing National Crime Victims' Rights Week, April 18 through 24. Annually in April, every year we celebrate the progress for victims' rights and recognize the work of our victim advocates and local and state organizations like the New York State Sheriff's Institute, supporting victims so that they have a voice in the criminal justice system. I also appreciate the work of our victim impact panels to bring awareness to DWI-related offenders. Our victim notification programs on the service of order of protections and incarceration status have been very beneficial. For all of you police and peace officers, prosecutors, and victim advocates, please remember this. People may forget what you do, they may also forget what you've said, but they will never forget how you made them feel. Especially thanks go to Safe Harbors for their listening, caring, and compassion that is so important to victim services in our county. Thank you all for observing this important week.
Hi, I'm Chief Thomas Dunham of the Penn Police Department, and I wanted to take a moment today to speak to you about this year's National Crime Victims' Rights Week. While we can't be together this year due to COVID-19, it's important that we still remember victims and that they're part of the criminal justice process. As police officers, we respond to a variety of calls and situations. We're often there for a brief moment and a little bit of a follow-up, but after that we're moving on to another case or call. Victims can often be confused by the process and not understand what's happening with their case or where do they need to turn to for help. In this county, we're extremely lucky to have great victim advocates and great victim services who come alongside of them and help them. We work with the Child Abuse Response Team, the Domestic Abuse Response Team, the Child Advocacy Center, and many other victim services. We're extremely lucky to have Safe Harbors, who works directly out of the District Attorney's Office. This year's Victims' Rights theme is Support Victims, Build Trust, Engage Communities. I think this is an excellent theme for this year, and it's never been more important for police and victim services to come alongside those who have been victimized and explain the process. There's been many changes this year with criminal justice laws and services, and it's important now more than ever to help those people who have been victimized to understand what's happening with their case. So I'd like to take this moment to thank all of the people that work in victim services in this community and all they do for everyone in this community. Thank you.
This year's theme emphasizes the importance of a community coming together to support victims of crime, to help the victims heal, and to improve the overall safety and well-being of our community. Sheriff Spike and Chief Dunham touched on a few of the resources available in our community to assist and support individuals, children, and families who've been impacted by crime. April is Sexual Assault Awareness Month and Child Abuse Prevention Month. Working with child victims of crime takes a team and community to come together to support that child. We often hear it takes a village to raise a child. Well, it takes a village to help a child through a traumatic experience of being the victim or a witness of a crime. We are lucky to have many agencies in our community to help those children, like mental health services, child protective services, the Child Advocacy Center of the Finger Lakes, Safe Harbors of the Finger Lakes, the schools, which provide many services, our law enforcement, the district attorney's office. Each are able to come together as a team to provide services for that child. This year, we'd like to recognize Penn Yan Middle School social worker Megan Trombley for her dedication, compassion, and hard work with the youth of our community.
We won't take long, but Megan, come on in. We all know our most talented social worker here at our school. I'm not here for a reason. Yeah. I was contacted by a local agency and asked to present an award to a PYMS staff member. Each year, Safe Harbors of the Finger Lakes selects an individual or agency that they feel has helped to make a difference for our community. This year, Safe Harbor selected Megan Trombley to receive the Outstanding Service to Victims of Crime Award due to her hard work and dedication. Megan is a great resource and support system for the children and families she works with, and she helps link them with services when needed. Safe Harbors of the Finger Lakes appreciates everything Megan does for the kids and teens she works with, and I know our family at PYMS feels the same. So I am very honored to present the Outstanding Service to Victims of Crime Award to Mrs. Megan.
Thank you for joining us in recognizing National Crime Victims' Rights Week.